Welcome back to the Crude Project, everyone. I'm here with Ant and Kevin the 2 Cent. And as always, we have a great episode for you guys. We have a lot to discuss, starting with the Helene, right?
A lot of that. This is probably going to be one of those, what's that episode? Because the second half is going to start diving, but we're going to really start to cover what we know so far, its current situation, and more that could be coming.
That's true. So prepare yourselves, buckle up, because we're going on a wild ride on this one. Before we dive too deep into this, you smell that?
Dark bark.
Oceanwood motion. Exotic executive.
Smells like success. Do you want a scent that'll hide your farts? Dark bark.
Do you want a scent that smells like a vacation you can't afford? Oceanwood motion.
Do you want a candle that'll hide the scent of your mistress? Exotic executive.
We told you we would do it. We've partnered with IllumineScents. We've created our own scents. Skip the FOMO. Buy our candles. We'll drop the link for you guys down below to check them out. Stay tuned. If you guys enjoy the content, please like, share. It helps us a lot. And let's dive.
Let's get into it. So everyone knows many places of North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, some parts of Virginia, they got hit by Helene very, very hard in places where they never expected it to.
Right.
And there's so much we can't even fully cover. I mean, we could, but it would be so incredibly long. So we're going to try and condense some of this down from everything, like how the hurricane reacted, how much water it dropped, the places it hit.
Yep.
You start to look into it and it looks really, really bad. And this is not, as we look into this, I want this to be very clear. We're not trying to downsize anything of the situation that did happen in the way we're looking at it. Because a lot of people are immediately, I can feel, want to be like, look, there's people who are really, there are lives that were ruined. But you also have to see other things that happened in this situation.
Right.
Because there's a lot that went on that is not just a hurricane that hit, where it hit and what it hit.
Yeah, and what that could mean. But also, let this kind of serve as like a precursor, so to speak, for any future type of events like this that may occur, and how people should be a lot more prepared, be a lot more alert. Because what we're going to dive into, we're not trying to take away anything from what happened, the devastation that Helene caused, and still what's going on over there, how much help people need.
And speaking of help.
Yeah, go ahead.
Many people already know, but the Biden administration decided to give to each household a package of money.
What a wonderful package it was, too. I mean, it's
$750.
It's going to help these families so much. The $750 is going to help bring their houses back, bring all that food back.
Of course.
It's just, honestly, the $750 is going to rejuvenate everyone's lives so much.
Complete turnaround. It's like it never even happened.
Yeah.
But the problem is you also need internet. And you have to go to an area to receive it, or it's received by mail. Oh, man, I know the mail carrier is just going to walk over the landslide going towards Batcave.
Right.
Batcave is an area in there.
Is there?
Yes, it's actually.
For real?
When people saying Batcave, I didn't know. But Batcave, North Carolina, is near Chimney Rock and Asheville and that like area. But there was a landslide, I believe, on I-9 near going to Batcave. That still is still not moved. They're not getting this money. If you had home insurance, renter's insurance, made too much money, you don't get the money. No matter what you lost prior, if on taxes you made too much, you don't get it. If you had homeowners insurance, and here's the other crazy thing, that place didn't really have flood insurance in many places. Why?
Right.
Because they were in the mountains. You're in the Appalachian Mountains.
Right.
Who's going to have flood insurance? Who's going to require you to have flood insurance?
And speaking of the flood, How much? So the rivers over there, normally, I think it's about like 2 to 3 foot of rain that the rivers, that's like the average, that's the normal
Right.
levels of the river, right? The water?
The amount it would raise is maybe like 4 feet would be an extreme amount of water to rise. And I'm pretty
Right.
sure some places flooded, or they would see water to rise up on the banks in some areas. It rose over 20 feet.
Yeah.
Over 20 feet. 5
Some-
times the amount of
some-
water.
Some locals were reporting it around 27 feet of the rise of the rainfall.
There was a house I saw a guy took a video of. He was up from the river,
Yeah.
and his house was 2 stories.
Yeah.
He had water in the 2nd story, halfway up the wall. You could see the water line, 70 feet in his area. The water was
That's
70
insane.
feet tall.
And you know what's crazy? That the mainstream media is literally not recording. Like, why isn't this a national emergency? Why is this not being plastered everywhere and help is being sent from like everywhere for this? They're downplaying this so much, and it's not being covered.
No.
Not that much at all. You know what is being covered though? Oh, Zelensky came over here and he needs money again. That's being covered on all medias. On all mainstream medias, that's being covered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're completely turning a blind eye to it. And so many locals are coming out on TikTok, Instagram, not really Facebook, because that's just getting completely shadow banned or taken down.
Right.
And even Instagram, probably some, because it's still owned by it. But they're coming out and they're voicing their concerns, and they're saying FEMA is stopping this push. FEMA has been now proven to been confiscating money and goods.
Yep.
Having blockades to stop people from going through to deliver these goods.
Right.
And the only people who are actually delivering these goods are personal people. They're not the military, it's all locals. It's not military, it's not FEMA, it's not Red Cross.
Private.
It's all private. Thank you. It's all private.
There's no National Guard that was dispatched.
Everyone's on a stand down order, and everyone's so confused. They I heard, started sending military personnel from I think maybe near Fort Bragg, the Air Force. And this was only yesterday, I believe, done. So on Sunday, currently it's Monday.
The what's the date today?
7th. So I believe on Sunday the 6th.
And this has been going on for over a week now, right?
Yeah. It's going on now 8 days. Now maybe 9, almost 10 days.
Oh my God.
So almost like 10 days.
Almost 2 weeks, and
they've just sent.
They're just now like, and I bet you even then when they get there, they're gonna do the minimal.
Well, some of these people are, military full-blown Americans who are really trying to help. There was a lot of military personnel who were voicing opinions saying, whoa,
Right.
we need to go.
Yeah.
We need to go. These people are underwater. And they were just on a stand down. So I feel hopefully that a lot would. And a lot of people were like, wow, a week? It's a little late now.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing left. There's not much left. And real quick, though, I do want to, I want to kind of, because we do have a couple of videos and things we wanted to show.
Yeah, but to put it into perspective really quick, like what $750 is doing for people, for these families that have their lives have been devastated, but then how much our government has been helping out others. Do you have that the numbers we have up here? So I want you guys pause the video, look at this, and tell me if our government is helping, doing enough for these lives that have been lost. $750? I feel like we're doing a lot more for other people than our own citizens. What's going on?
And obviously there are horrible things going on across the world. We can't deny that.
Right.
In the Congo, Syria, Yemen, Somalia, all over. It is very bad. And I don't feel that someone is, disheartened or not disheartened. What is the word I'm looking for? Somebody who, doesn't care. Literally just you don't care about other people if you try and take care of yourself.
What?
when you have things like our country has been going in a major decline for decades.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, say Somalia, something happens to Somalia like this. I'm pretty sure the government of Somalia is going to be like, my citizens first. They just got destroyed, and I need to help them out first before I can send out money to Ukraine. I'm sorry. In the same week that this happened, in the same freaking week, we're sending billions to Ukraine and Israel. Why? What is going? And then you like slap on the freaking face, $750 you get. Like what?
Yeah,
Dog. It's I don't know what needs to happen for things to change, but shit needs to change ASAP. But we do have a quick. What were some of the names of the people that are helping out?
So the next thing we're going to show after this is going to be the eyewitness kind of actual firsthand.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure many people, if you're using social media, have heard the pilot Jordan Sidham. I might have butchered his name, but pilot Jordan Sidham. He was one of the first people that hit the news. He and his son, his co-pilot, took his personal helicopter and was taking supplies and getting people off of the mountains that were completely stranded. There was they were out there for days. By this time, days. No food, no water, no power, no help. They were going to die. There's no two ways about it. He got in his helicopter, spent thousands of dollars on fuel, and was getting people out. The chief, the fire chief, Chris Milton of Lake Lure, told him if he were to continue doing so, he was going to be arrested on the spot. So at this time, his co-pilot son was on a mountain with a husband and wife who were stranded. He literally had to go pick up his son and tell him, I cannot bring you. I will be arrested.
That's wild, man.
Even now, he was like, if I would have replayed it, I would have just picked him up. I would have picked him up and I would have gone to jail. Because, that is the craziest thing ever. For someone to say, no, you cannot do this. And the reasoning was because he was obstruction of search and rescue efforts.
Okay.
And it's a complete and utter slap in the face again.
Bro, I mean, if they were doing enough, if FEMA was doing enough, if the government was doing enough, if they had sent National Guard, if they sent help immediately and they were doing more than enough, or at least enough to help these people out, we wouldn't have these locals acting out on their own and doing things to help people. And even if they are, why are they
being told no?
Why are they being told no when they're doing something that's good and helping people out? That's the craziest shit to me, bro. That is the craziest. Like, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. That wild.
Was a complete uproar, and they wanted to interview. There was another gentleman I saw. I don't remember his name. It was on TikTok. They wanted to interview Chris Milton and ask him, hey, what was your reason behind this? America wants to know what's going on. Why would you tell people, hey, get off that mountain, leave those people there? We'll get them in a minute.
Yeah.
When you're there, he didn't want to respond. They got nothing back from him, but they did get. I believe she is like one of the highest government officials for Lake Lure.
Right.
She gave the most roundabout. They asked, why was he turned away? Why was he told he couldn't do these things? And she said, well, you have to go through certain steps, blah, blah, blah. He may not have had the proper training, but not even 24 hours later, he was told he could go back. So he asked a question. He said, so ma'am, let me ask you, do you think his training just tripled experience overnight? Because all of a sudden now he's allowed to go back.
Right.
But that's when it then blew up. It was blowing up on the news.
Yeah.
And she just didn't have anything. Well, you got to go through proper train. You have to let the people know where you're going to be.
She said a bunch of nothing.
A bunch of nothing, because the airports where people were selling fuel to private people for the efforts. So one side is telling you, no, we can't do this way. And the other side was saying, well, we were selling. He had receipts, 2 receipts of fuel, of there, back. and nothing is lining up.
And these people are helping. They're spending money out of their own pockets.
Yes.
And these are not like super rich people.
I mean, you have a helicopter. He's kind of wealthy.
What? Okay.
If you got a helicopter, you got money.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of so to fill it.
So
$10,000. I think it was like $10,000 to like fill his helicopter.
Damn.
I mean, it's fuel. It's like plane.
But here's
fuel,
the
jet
thing.
fuel. I think is the helicopter run on jet fuel?
What are you doing with all that money if you can't help people out in that kind of situation?
Exactly. And he's doing it for that. I mean, what a great show of having the resources and using it
Right.
in such a great manner and being told, no.
That's wild.
The last person that, and again, this was very, very prominent name on TikTok that I've found and looked into him, Jonathan Howard. Jonathan Howard came from Florida.
Mm.
He had people coming out of Wilmington, North Carolina, and they had helicopters and people moving them. And they managed to save the life of an 11th-month-old baby.
That's awesome.
Now, what's not awesome? The media took it and said that the National Guard did it.
Wow.
The media took the pictures of the baby and claimed it to be the National Guard had came in and was saving people's lives, when it was not. It was him and his private team that were doing these things, saving people. And he also was seeing pushback from FEMA saying, no, you can't go. You can't do this. You're holding up efforts, blockades left and right for him because he's on the ground. He's in the air. He's trying to do these things.
Yeah.
All of it is just from the locals. Now, the last person who was able to do these things was Cletus McFarland. Cletus, YouTube 1320, famous racer. He's big into cars. He took his personal jet and he did it. He didn't see any backlash. Now, I think Cletus did it because Cletus did it for, the good. And the reason I think he wasn't stopped is because of the amount of following he has and the voices he would have heard but it ended up coming back either way because when Cletus could do it and others couldn't, people started to see, wait. Now, nothing bad against Cletus, but I think because of Cletus's massive following on the internet, if he were to have gone and literally were getting people out and sending supplies and they was told, no, you can't do this.
Yep.
That would have, boom, overnight. Either way, we still figured it out. But by this time, unfortunately, so many lives have been lost.
Yeah, they would have had a hard time trying to come up with a story to justify why they stopped him. It would have
been hard.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main reason why Cletus, and thank goodness he was able to do what he did and he saved as many as he could in the time that he did. If Cletus would have been pushed away, it would have been immediate, whoa, something's going on right then and there. And unfortunately, it did take a week before it came around. And now we're figuring out FEMA has been holding up the entire operation.
Let's hear from a few of the locals. We have a clip of a few of the locals that have been voicing their concerns. And these are like people that are there and they're eyewitnesses to like what's going on, what these blockades that are happening by FEMA, by the feds and everything. So play that clip really quick for me.
Happened today in Chimney Rock, North Carolina. They had a town meeting where all the citizens were addressed by government officials and were explained that their town will not be rebuilt. They no longer own their land. The town is going to be completely bulldozed, like what Helene did not completely destroy because it wiped out most of Chimney Rock. And they're going to bulldoze the rest of it. And those people cannot come back to their land. They have nothing. It was all taken. Everything. Chimney Rock, North Carolina, today. I have family that was present at the town meeting today about Chimney Rock, and so regardless of what the news says, I don't really care. The government gaslighting the general public into believing something that fits their agenda is kind of what they do. I bet
picked up a flight of pediatric medical supplies that were brought in and are going to North Asheville. We're sitting in the private portion of the airport and we got to overhear an awful lot. The Army pilots, the Navy pilots, hospital representatives, there was a lot of chatter. While we were there, a private jet landed and 4 FEMA representatives got off. 4 people off of a private jet. Come to find out, and you're not going to hear this, so let me tell you. Come to find out, Mission Hospital was told, a private hospital, that they are going to go ahead and be the morgue center for body recovery. All of the Army Chinook helicopters you're seeing flying overhead, they are doing body recovery. FEMA said, and you can take this as a direct quote, said that they are too tied up at the border to send any more representatives. Yeah, at the border. So anyhow, I guess border control trumps whatever's going on here. So they told Mission Hospital they are not sending refrigerated trucks so that they can stack the bodies up. And we also overheard that whatever fatality numbers you are hearing, and this is a quote, go ahead and add a couple of zeros. So FEMA's too busy with the border. A private hospital and the Army are going to take over body recovery, and private individuals with their private helicopters and their private planes are the ones who are flying in supplies. I was at Hangar 10. I was picking up supplies. There was a stack for the Cajun Navy. There was a stack that looked like it was ASPCA. These are all being sent by private individuals. FEMA is doing nothing. Go ahead and share that.
Too busy and tied up at the border. The Department of Homeland Security's secretary, I believe, is Mayorkas, Alejandro Mayorkas.
Yeah, he's still there.
Bro, his statement knocked me out, bro, because isn't it his responsibility to make sure that we don't have the border wide open like we have been? And this guy is like, oh, we don't have enough funding for the hurricane season anymore. And because we're too tied up at the border. What? Bro, that is the biggest load of shit I have ever heard.
So, I mean, because if we didn't just close the border like we were going to do, which would have been, I don't know, the way every other country does it, maybe we take a page out of Poland's book. Poland's book. Have you heard what they're doing?
Yeah, I heard.
Shoot on sight. Now, that's a little extreme. And some people may be like, hey, that's not, those are people. Okay, well.
They're also military age confirmed criminals that are
there's plenty
coming
of
over
criminals.
here.
And in all honesty, like we had a thing in place, like a structure, I don't know, for people to come across the border and,
Right. There's a whole system.
A system way. Yeah, we had a system in place.
Legal system.
You
I don't know what happened.
And it happens. And yes, it's not easy, but like we
get
also
vetted.
just can't go to any country we want and just walk in like it's nothing.
Right.
Try that try that anywhere in the Middle East. You just end up in jail or killed.
Right.
But, nobody bats an eye at that. But we're just a great country of the US of A. And
so, yeah. So we're too tied up at the border because they're doing such a fantastic job at the border, right? I don't know, bro. Like the excuses that they're coming up with why they're not able to provide the proper funding for this disaster and the proper supplies to help out all the people that have been devastated by this. All of these lame-ass excuses are just more reasons for me to believe that what they're doing, honestly, it's probably on purpose. And this is where we're going to segue into what's that part of the episode. Because, well, actually, real quick before that, I think, what's the current death toll? Yeah. So currently, I believe the death toll from the Helene is over 3,000 and injured or missing is around 10,000 or more. I mean, they're still searching. So these numbers are not up to date and accurate as of right now. So it might be more. Before we jump into the latter part of this, a quick update on the new hurricane that is following up. I mean, we haven't even recovered from Helene and we're getting hit with another one, aren't we?
Yeah, it was,
Hurricane Milton.
Milton it's still currently still in the Gulf, yeah?
Yeah. Can you go over to the picture, the clip, or that snip? Put that up really quick. So, okay. So this is a little snip, gives you guys a little perspective of where Hurricane Milton currently is and where it's headed. It's headed directly for the east. Is that east? West Gulf Coast of Tampa, Florida. So before, like when it was at this stage, it was around Category 3 or so tropical storm. Well, as of right now, Monday, what is it? October the what?
7th.
Monday, October the 7th. Guess where it is now? Upgraded to Category 5. This storm has picked up steam big time. Now it's Category 5 and winds of 165 miles per hour. Some are speculating this is the worst storm that has ever come upon Florida, ever, like in history. So people that
is it 140 or 165?
It was 140.
It was 140.
Oh.
So it was 140 from
this was prior.
This was prior. It was 140 when it was like halfway through the Gulf. Now where it's so this Hurricane Milton is expected to hit make landfall at Tampa, Florida coast Wednesday morning. So for people who are out there, take heed, get out of there if you can, and just brace for impact because this one is expected to be very, very bad. And
you think all this is related to Bouvet Island?
Here we go, buddy. So I'm glad you asked because now we're going to segue into what is that? I have a little clip for you guys, okay? Oh, never mind. You got oh, okay.
Well, you want the clip first?
You want to play the clip first?
Yeah, let's show them the clip.
Let's do the clip first, okay? Because I want you guys to see that what they have been working on for a while now is what people have been debunking it as a conspiracy or whatever. Just watch this clip, and then we're going to dive deep into this.
You know, they were talking about climate change yesterday, and now we're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they did not get into this discussion, though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really, to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning. Go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those...
What? When was that? That looked like an older video.
Yeah, it is. It's from... I don't want to get the date wrong, so I believe
Roughly.
It was...
How many years ago was that?
Roughly, it was more than 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
More than 10 years ago, yeah.
10 years ago, we already had the possibility of making rain just be rain from a cloud. 10 years ago.
From laser technologies. And guess what, buddy? We got patents on this.
10 years ago, we didn't even have self-driving cars.
You got that up, buddy? For people who might think that's
Does that say 2003?
2003. We had patents on creating hurricanes, manipulating, controlling, directing, and intensifying it. So, if y'all thought this was some kind of fake shit, some kind of movie thing that doesn't exist, think again. They had patents on this. They have patent on this. They have the technology. They have been doing it. Yeah, bro.
When did Katrina hit? 05.
05, I believe. Yeah. Things are starting to line up, right?
Oh, hold on a minute.
You know what's crazy? The area that Katrina hit, you know what the people were told? Because everybody lost everything. House is gone, right? Areas wiped
Eminent domain.
clean. You know what they were told?
What?
Same thing that North Carolina is being told right now.
You got nothing left.
You got nothing left, and they took over all of that land. And you know who I'm talking about. They took over all of that land, and they started building real estate and other properties.
Before you start, I forgot to mention this, but I had seen in that area of Chimney Rock, there was a lady there. I didn't have it set up for this, but if I can find the video, I'll send it to you and we'll put it in the description below. Let me give you the premise of it.
Yeah.
There was actually a pamphlet. It was like an online thing of showing how they're going to rebuild Chimney Rock.
Oh, I think I have it.
And it was put out a week before the storm hit.
Holy shit.
And it talks about how they would, revamp Chimney Rock, but they couldn't do it unless an act of nature.
Yeah.
And it literally spills out the fact that they couldn't do what they wanted to do to Chimney Rock because it was illegal. It's a land grab.
Yep. And they can't do it without some sort of a reason like this, where they would have the means or the opportunity to do it without the people raising their voices
or compensation. Imagine, look how much money they saved.
Right.
These fucking psychopaths.
Right.
Dude, I kind of want to see if I can find it. I think I sent it to us.
And, I saw it. It was I checked out that video. And then
but it was on a website.
You have this, Kev? You have it up? So this shows a little document of the classification of that patent that it shows before 2003. This was a classified document, a classified project. And I believe this project that they were doing it was called, let me see. Is it Project Cyrus?
Cyrus?
Yeah, I think it was called Project Cyrus, I believe. So, for you, if you guys want to check out Project Cyrus. And so, it also, you start to like, what do we do on this show? What do we do here?
We connect the dots.
We connect the dots. And when we connect dots, we start to circle back on some things. What does this remind you of? It reminds you of Lahaina fires, doesn't
Maui.
it? Right? Yeah. And what did they do there? All the people gone.
You got nothing.
The compensation that they gave them, what was it?
$650.
Thank you. $650. Like that, like what they're doing it here at North Carolina, $750. That's all you get, $750. And then your land is gone. Lahaina, what are they doing now? All that land gone. The people, they're
Aren't the
moved.
kids still missing?
Yeah, the kids are still
There's many
missing.
kids missing, yeah.
And now they've taken over all of that land. The feds, the government, has taken over all of that land. Guess what they're doing with that land?
Smart
You can
city.
go check it out. They're building a smart city. They're building nice, luxurious, resort-style beachfronts. And
What do you think they want to do with Chimney Rock?
yeah, what do you think they want to do there?
I found now real quick. I had found the video. The lady. If you find her on TikTok, I'll just put this here. It's Witch, the number 4, Liberty. Witch for Liberty, and that is that's the lady who did it's an affordable housing plan and all this other, and it's on a website to show how they want to build these new, modern, up to date. And because just like Lahaina and just like Chimney Rock, they were poor, they were lower class, lower income, and they can't fight. They don't have the amount of means for the majority to fight back against what's happening, and that's why they were targeted as well.
And what's going on in Western? What kind of area is that Western North Carolina?
It's all mountains.
Yeah.
What's in the mountains? Materials.
Yeah. So let's dive into that. Who do you think has interest in that? I wonder.
Oh,
What's over there? Huh? Spruce pine?
Spruce?
Spruce
pine.
pine.
Spruce pine has the most purest mine that holds quartz in the world.
Go over to the website real quick. I want to give people a quick little perspective of this. Here you go. Sibelco Corporation. This is the company that is over there. That the area that was heavily
This is the company
affected.
that mines that area. And this area, yes, was devastated. The mine for quartz run by Sibelco, and this is it's not in Chimney Rock. This is up near Black Mountain. This is near Black Mountain is where this is. Spruce Pine is like nearby the Black Mountain area.
Yeah.
They haven't been there for days. So this is holding up that situation.
Yeah.
Now, we do not know if some big people that like to, make deals and buy
Right.
things.
Close to Black Mountain.
Smack chalk. Sounds like that.
Why don't we just say it?
Okay, hey. So BlackRock, they made the deal for the lithium over in Kings Mountain. Now, Kings Mountain was not affected. Okay, that is one thing that people are thinking they're doing a land grab. Kings Mountain was not affected by the flooding. That we can see. Now, if anyone can disprove that, I'm all ears. I'm not saying that I'm not, but Kings Mountain, the lithium is what Kings Mountain. And there's also a mine, but BlackRock is already taken.
It's probably not good to flood a mine
of lithium.
or just in general, because like
then it's hard to get. You have to excavate the water out. But they made a deal with that, and I think even Tesla is in a part of that. But I know BlackRock wants to do it for various other features that are also like, military wise. But Quartz, I believe, could be wrong on this number, but around a $6 billion industry. Because you think Quartz, for all of my life until I started looking into what quartz is about, quartz was just a poor rock that in my childhood home, I had a quartz rock that was sitting out front.
Right.
It was just something that was there, and it was massive. Quartz is built for semiconductors, solar panels, fiber optic cables, certain things in CPUs. It is used in so much technology that they have literally exponentially expanded this industry since 2019 till now.
Semiconductors and solar photovoltaic, not voltaic.
Voltaic.
Voltaic. So
Photovoltaic.
It's volitic, all right? It's whatever it is. All I know is
Photovoltaic.
Spruce Pine was affected, and the mines haven't been going on for days. Now, I don't know how big. Now, what is this company name? I've already forgot.
Sibelco.
Sibelco is a global company, so they're not some small timers.
No, they're not small.
They're global. Now, I don't know if, now this is complete speculation, if BlackRock were to come in and be like, oh, well, I see you guys are kind of hard on right now. You got a little down bad. I'll buy it from you. How about that?
Right.
I'll buy it from you. You know what? I'll buy the whole area. What the hell? I'll help you guys out.
And you know what they've been doing, right? Buying all these massive swaths of land and
Single-family homes.
Yep, single-family homes.
So that's something I want everyone to keep an eye on. What happens to the Sibelco mine coming forward? Because that is a big,
and the lithium
big
mine
deal.
on Kings Mountain.
Well, the lithium mine's already bought and paid for. BlackRock, they made a deal. It was like a $900 million deal or something like that. BlackRock made that money might be off it. I don't think it's 900 billion, but I think
lithium is very important. So
well, think about it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
We already have a cobalt mine that's going on in Idaho, if you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Now we
covered that. If you guys don't know that, go check it out in one of our previous episodes.
Yeah. And they took that from our own people in a way. Just watch the video, you'll understand. So we got cobalt, then we got lithium, and now we got quartz. We've had all these things going on, right?
Yep.
It's not, well, the Idaho cobalt mine, we didn't have that going up and running to what extent we have now.
Right.
we're getting a lot of pieces to come together to build computer chips.
Right.
Previously, who did we rely on that from?
I believe it was Taiwan.
Taiwan's gotten a lot of things on their hands, and we're not able to get as much chips as from them.
Nope, because they have a whole ass blockade over there sitting by China. Right?
Exactly. And if you guys remember when cars weren't selling, when we had a chip shortage.
Yep.
So we preventing this. So it's kind of, if you want to shed a small amount of light, a very small, we could be becoming a little bit more self-sufficient on some things.
Yeah.
But at what cost?
Yeah.
At what cost? Right? They're not worth it. And the way they're doing it is, I'm almost certain if people would have been like in Idaho, like, hey, look, this is what we could do if we could get this water, water for this mine. It could help us this way.
Right.
Some people are still going to be like, no, I don't need no dang computer chips from my dang thing. I got a dang truck until 1985. I don't need that dang thing.
Right.
They could. But if it were, it's the approach is what it's doing. And it makes it seem like none of it's right. But let's be honest. Majority of it's going to the military complex.
Yeah.
You know? But let's get back to this whole weather stuff. All right.
Right. Let's get back to the weather stuff because so if just to give you guys a little bit of more context into this weather manipulation technology, before in earlier episodes that we guys were covering some of this, that I was mentioning some of this, I believe it was I made a mention of DARPA. And what does DARPA have? A bunch of things. What is one of the most prominent things that they have or kind of is known for weather manipulation? HARP, right?
Yep.
And, well, HARP is not the only thing. So there's other companies that have been doing these experiments for weather manipulation and controlling of creation and controlling of it. In 1946. So 1946, General Electric, GE, they had a pilot released, he climbed up 14,000 feet elevation and then dropped 3 pounds of dried ice into the clouds. Okay. And what transpired from that was a snowstorm. 3 pounds of dried ice into the cloud, elevation 14,000 feet. And what you got from it was a snowstorm.
Where did this
1946. And then afterwards, so they took that and they were like, all right, cool. Let's see what else we can do. 1947, GE goes. And GE partners with the U.S. Army and the U.S. Navy, and they work on a joint project, and that is a project that's called Project Cirrus.
Oh,
And
okay. So I heard about this one. They did a similar kind of thing.
And that's when there was a hurricane that they were tracking
Yes.
off the coast of Florida. It was going to miss Florida, right? It was going to miss Florida, but because they wanted to do this experiment, so
They thought, oh, let's see what happens if
let's
we
see
put
what
it in the
happens with
hurricane.
this. Yeah.
Same thing, dry ice, right?
Yeah. And so they did the same thing with this hurricane that was going to miss Florida, but it didn't. It hit Florida and Georgia, and the way it hit was, you guys can look this up. This is public. So it was moving away into the Atlantic Ocean. When they did this experiment, it did such a hard turn. Yeah, such a hard 90, and it came right back into hitting Florida and Georgia. And it just started evolving from there. 1947. Now, just think about it. If they can do that at 1947, and we're in 2024, how much have they progressed that technology? What else can they do that? We played that little clip of Michio
lasers.
Michio Kaku explaining the lasers, how they've moved from dried ice technology to now laser technology, and that's in 2000s. So it just goes to show you that nothing is honestly out of these guys' hands, and they can pretty much do almost anything if they set their minds to, and none of it seems to be that good for the people, or it all seems very, what's the word? Nefarious.
Oh, very nefarious. Very. Yeah. This, you got to
They
think
did
like
the same shit. Sorry. They did the same shit in, what was it? Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, during the Vietnam War. Okay, so here's a part that we can remember. If you guys have ever seen Forrest Gump, and unfortunately I had to watch it like every year in school all the time. I know it like so many times. You remember the part of the movie where he's walking through the rainforest and he goes, and it was raining every day, like cats and dogs, raining sideways. It was even coming up from the bottom. And they were like walking through, and people were like, oh, they have monsoons. No. That was manipulation.
Yeah.
They manipulated weather because what's an easy way without doing anything else to slow down an opposing force?
Mm-hmm.
Rain, storms, difficult terrain. Now they can't. It's muddy. It's flooded. You can't move. You can't get in. You start washing people away.
Yeah, supplies. You can't get this. They messed up the supply chain so that's how they could deal a devastating blow to the opposition.
And we still lost.
So just giving you guys, all the nuts and bolts of all of this, that look into this. Broaden your spectrum of information gathering and think on this stuff a little more, because honestly, nothing seems to surprise me nowadays, and almost nothing seems to be a coincidence.
And I feel like every time somebody sees something like this, it's very easy to dismiss this kind of thing.
Yeah. For
a few reasons. And this is kind of like off topic in a way, but it's when you don't think, well, I've never seen that kind of thing. I've never.
Right.
Personal experience gets in the way, and along with fear.
Yeah.
And it's a scary thought. And I guess it's just, I don't really have any reassurance. I'm just going to be straight with you. You know what I mean? There's not like an easy way to like not have like a little bit of fear. But as I said, I've said in many other, preparedness is the best way to combat in these kinds of things. And it's hard to be like, okay, well, how to prepare for somebody who can literally just change weather in front of me?
Mm-hmm.
And that is difficult. But having any form of plan of action, movement, supplies, things like that can really help. And that is very difficult in this time.
Yep.
And as Kev likes to say, it's by design.
And how you can change some of these things from preventing them to, happening, and all these nefarious shit, from preventing that stuff to happen, how you can kind of change it is by maybe, like I said earlier, broaden your spectrum of information gathering, because if you're always watching mainstream media, this is how they get you. This is how they'll always keep you in the loop, where you will think that you're in this perfect little world of yours, that nothing really bad is happening, and nobody's really a bubble. Nothing really bad is happening. Nobody's really doing all these like nefarious shit, and fear mongering and stuff is what you guys are doing and whatever. But if you're more aware, then you can make a lot more informed decisions on the election of people into positions that are for the people, by the people, in the government.
Sharing the information you find when you are able to find credible information, or things that you're like, okay, well, I can back it because of this, this, and this. Like, we're just telling you right now that this storm had to have been manipulated because it did things. We didn't explain too much, but the storm got stronger as it went over land. Name another hurricane that's ever done that. Never once in existence.
Name a hurricane that just sits there for 24 hours plus in one area, and it's a mountainous area.
It doesn't happen.
Have you seen one?
The amount of water, the amount of rainfall that fell, I think was like in the trillions of gallons.
Yeah.
Trillions of gallons of water. This doesn't happen. And you're like, oh, well, it was a rare occurrences. No. This is not things that happen in the way they do. It's not a coincidence that these places don't have flood insurance because they're in the mountainous areas. These are poor people unfortunately, it's true. It's a lower income area, and I hate to put it to that point, but it just is. But those people knew how to get by in the things they did. And now we're seeing, and again, Witch for Liberty on TikTok. I don't even know if the video is still up, and I hope it is. She goes into explanation showing how they're already in plans of rebuilding Chimney Rock before it even happened. Before it even happened. I mean, spread this information. If you spread this information, this can become a more normal thing. And it, unfortunately, I don't know if it will stop it. But if enough people are catching on and being like, wow, hold on. Why am I seeing this here? But this isn't here.
Yeah.
And I feel, and I'm very happy for it, but I feel 10 years ago to where we are now, major change of the amount of people who don't believe what they're seeing firsthand on the news, because too many times it has burned them.
Right.
And I'm happy for that. And there's always lessons between everything that happens to you. And I'm just hoping that people are learned faster rather than slower, I guess, in the way we're going.
And I know, honestly, I think that this episode will reach 0 views, unfortunately, just because it goes against
the agenda, the mainstream.
The agenda, yeah, in
everything we're seeing,
the status quo, the narrative, the mainstream narrative. We talk about things basically that will help people to understand things in a different light. And when we do that, we get shadow banned big time. So unfortunately, probably not going to see this video much. So if you guys found this content here helpful, if this was informative, share to as many people as possible so more people can be more informed about things like this. And yeah, one other thing, disclaimer type of thing, don't believe anything we say also. Do your own searching,
100%.
do your
Always
own fact
look for
checking,
yourself.
and look up all of this stuff on your own. Because we don't endorse anything and we're not going to claim anything. We just provide information that
we find.
We find and think that it may help you. With all that being said, got anything else?
That's it, man. Stay safe.
Stay safe from Hurricane Milton. Wednesday morning landfall of that. Guys, if you found this content informative, please subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go over to our Spotify channel. Follow us on Spotify if you cannot watch the video for whatever reason on YouTube. And we will see you guys on the next one.
See you.